So I'm here with my buddy Eddie.
Peace.
My name's Sebastian, and now we are two athletes that live in Finland, completely different backgrounds, grew up on different sides of the planet, but we have a passion for skateboarding, and so I'm kind of here to ask, why is it that that's not just an excuse to smoke weed and relax and hang out with your friends all day? Why is it a legitimate sport? Or let's also not just do that comparison, let's tell some of the history and the difference between where I grew up with it in California, learning about the history of it there, and it's a different history timeline here, isn't it?
Yeah, totally. Totally.
Where did you guys didn't start by like creating the skateboards in garages yourselves. You already had this idea from, should we start with the Tony Hawk? Or where was it?
I think it's a little bit before early 80s.
Okay.
Like we have to think that there is older generation than I am. I'm 33 at the moment, so I started skateboarding on 99, and I think that, you know, people who skated at that time with that fishtail skateboard, that started in early 80s, and I know that Arman, who is doing now on the TV show, he's the pioneer of Finnish skateboarding. And yeah, I think it's like early 80s, but I remember that I bought my first board just because, you know, I saw a couple of kids skating on the street, so I bought my board from the local kind of sports shop.
Yeah.
It's not really, you know, skateboarding shop. It's selling all the football, basketball stuff and shit like this. So there were like...
And this is not a big store either, right? This is a small section for skateboarding stuff.
Exactly.
Back then, right?
And, you know, there was not so many skate shops at that time, like in the city central, but when you were a young boy, your mom didn't allow you to go to there. Plus the, you know, full complete skateboard with the tires and everything or wheels is around 1,000 marks, which were previous currency. It's around now 120 euros if we, you know, turn it in modern currency.
Yeah.
But basically 1,000 marks, and telling that to your mom that can I have skateboard for, you know, 1,000 marks, and she were like, no fucking way.
Okay, but she would spend 10,000 marks on ice hockey, or no? Was that the rich kids? And
yeah, ice hockey has been always, you know, pretty much
expensive.
Yeah, and you know the local sports shops sold. We call it like pirate version of real skateboards. What the local, you know. Sellers from the sports shops sold to us, because they were like cheap wood used in the boards and cheap wheels, cheap bearings, all were, you know, cheap parts, but you could start skateboarding with that. And it didn't have the fishtail. It has the modern, you know, the tail and nose, and that shop didn't have on those boards any curves. Because as you can see, and as audience probably can see, that in modern skateboard there is small curves in the side, and you can see how it has been bending from the side, and that's really modern skateboard at the moment.
Yeah, this 9-ply.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that was my, you know, first skateboard, and we didn't have skate parks at that time, so we really have to be, you know, kind of figuring out where we're gonna skate. Plus, the biggest difference is to street skating here in California is that you have sunny days almost all year round, right?
Oh yeah.
When we have maybe from 3 to 5 months, like dry weather, and that it doesn't rain, that it's summer, because when winter hits, it's totally a different thing. You go snowboarding rather than skateboarding, and I didn't skate on you know, too much on winter time, because or 99 Tony Hawk video game was not published yet.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you guys soon why it has so big impact in Finland. But when it didn't appear yet, so we didn't have this imagination to figure out, you know, winter spots for ourselves. So we end up to, you know, skate sometime in shopping mall parking halls.
Now you're gonna get people angry. Okay.
Exactly.
But also, when did snowboarding become popular here? Because I think it's kind of important to keep that in frame of mind.
Yeah, I think snowboarding started pretty much at the same time, early 90s, 95. It starts to, you know, increase in Finland. It was already on 80s, but, you know, the local street skaters starts to, you know, invent themselves winter sports. And they took, you know, role model from States, from Canada, like from Burton and from, who was this another, Simons, who also competed with the Burton on the snowboarding industry at that time in States. So people start to know here that there is, you know, snowboarders, that you can get snowboard for yourself.
I'm just wondering, where is it that you guys took the ideas to get out there and to skate from? You know, for us, it's like there was surfers already and big surfer communities around us. So it was like we kind of started to see the tricks from skateboarders first, impacted by that. But you didn't have surfing here, just for the same reasons. It's kind of hard to paint this
it came from
picture.
the, you know, underground society, and we have this kind of underground store where you can buy, you know, spray cans, white ass
Yeah.
pants, rap shoes, all these kind of things, and they were only one who sell kind of underground magazines. Those guys who were painting the walls with the spray cans,
Graffiti, yeah.
the rappers who did, you know, NWA was in the magazines,
Yeah.
and things like that. Also, there were Thrasher magazine.
Yeah. Thrasher,
Which you guys know from States,
Everybody
that
knows
Thrasher
Thrasher.
is
Thrasher,
biggest skateboarding magazine. That was in there, and I think, you know, people who were interested about underground culture bought this magazine, or even, you know, watch it a little bit in the store and got idea, you know, to start skateboarding. From that point, I think it started, you know, from the, you know, hip hop underground culture.
Okay. I wonder who were the hip hop artists that were big in the skate community back then?
Well, I had to say that, you know,
NWA, you said already.
from my point of view, when I started to skate, it has been always, you know, rap and hip hop. The way people dressed between 99 and 2005, it was huge pants, you know, the rap culture was strong in Finland. And, you know, some of the really pioneer skaters, they had this punk style and rock and roll style of skateboarding. But the youngsters and teenagers, they start to wear, you know, rap clothes.
Yeah. But you didn't get the Dickie style stuff until...
Yeah, we have
you do that.
Dickies,
And then,
yeah.
I've seen them here a lot of American clothing companies. DC, like I was telling you, that's Drawers
Yeah.
Clothing, used to have pretty boring designs with just birch trees on them, and
Yeah,
now
that was
everybody
totally
knows them
new
as
for me.
DC's was rebranded completely, but yeah, that was a big skater company. I was gonna tell the story of like how when I was young, I was 13 working for a skateboard company in a warehouse, and Bam Margera came in bringing this VHS tape. He must have been, I don't know, 16, 18, something like that. And he brings this tape in, and it's him land speed. I know you know this video.
Yeah, for sure.
And
it was huge impact here.
Yeah, so for me, like, look, we skateboarded because we thought it was just kind of cool and fun, but there were so many sports that pulled us as young kids in the US. There's just so many fun ones. You don't have to pick just basketball or football. You can play everything and surf and all that stuff. So I feel like that's different because we didn't have the same winter sports. We definitely snowboarded, but not skiing so much. You guys have a lot of cross-country skiing.
Yeah, that's like cultural thing. But yeah, about the Bam Margera.
Yeah.
Did he get the sponsor from Mean Machine after that, or he were skating already for Mean Machine skateboarding company?
That I don't know. I thought it was just him as an independent. I don't know if he even had any company at the time, but he made this this film just with a
Because
couple
this
of
is
friends.
again connected or related what happened in Finland with the CKY landscape is that I sold my board to my classmate. You were like interesting of getting on skateboard, and another my friend also sold the board for him, so he had two boards to create a great complete of skateboard. And my one friend Janne brought me a copy, because then VHS starts to get the point where you can copy from cassette to another tape.
So again, underground again.
Yeah. So Janne brought me a CKY landscape, and I was like watching it. Holy shit! What is this? And I feel so bad that I just sold my board to my friend, and saw like week after this movie. So I was like, fuck, I need to get a new board. And at that time when I saw the movie, actually Tony Hawk was released, on European markets, and that changed the whole scene in Finland.
Yeah.
The Tony Hawk video game, because we need to understand that you guys can go and watch skate tricks every day, every minute, every second from YouTube, from different kind of internet platforms. And basically, whatever you want to learn about skateboarding tricks, you can get it from there. All the tricks, all the tips for everything, for skateboarding, for snowboarding, for rollerbladers, all that access is available for you now. At that time, we watched from the magazine, like the cartoon or
Flip books, like
flip
this.
books, yeah. So we had
slow flip books.
kind of really old style animated way that you put serial of pictures in the magazine page, and from there you can a little bit saw like, okay, this is how the trick is done, because now I can see like from 10 to 15 pictures of step by step how the trick goes. And when this CKY and all this Birdhouse The End movie, which is one of the greatest, as well as E.S. Menigmati, when these tapes came to us, it changed the game, because then you saw from the videos how the trick is done. And you can go back, slow mode it, check it again. And when Tony Hawk video game came, that created again another level of learning a tricks, because now you could do the tricks by yourself, obviously with the hands and with the remote control, but your brain understood that when you're doing this combination with your buttons, it creates a trick.
Yeah.
So from that point, people start to learn, more sick tricks. And the videos at the end of every skateboarder career that you pass in that game, you saw the video, and that was like biggest reward ever, because you saw some material what you couldn't otherwise get it.
Yeah.
And when people start to asking from skateboard shops like, oh, we saw this part from Andre Reynolds in the Tony Hawk video game, where is the full movie? Where's the full movie? So then they start to ordering from United States 411 video magazine, which was kind of collection of worldwide skateboard tricks. And again, that changed the game, because we start to see all the time new tricks, new way to do them, and things like that.
And now there's a standard. It's not just like you can't just come with the things that you're doing in your neighborhood. Now the game has been raised to a certain level, so you kind of know.
Exactly.
So it makes it also kind of more professional in your head, because what I mean by that is you see some bar that like, look, these guys are having success. They're getting to do and fly all over the world to skate and stuff like that. So now at that point you finally have that. You have some kind of the first type of reward system coming from society. Before, society is telling you, why are you doing this? You're dressing different. You guys are destroying property.
Yeah,
They didn't
yeah.
like that, right? If you're skating in some hotel.
I think
or-
it's still like this, that people don't like that, you know, skateboarders comes and destroy their property. It's still existing, the thing in there, but
I would say it changed in California though. I think here you're right. I think it hasn't changed here. But in California, if we see some waxed curbs now, there's a lot of us from my generation that are just like, cool, man, somebody's skating this.
yeah, the generation has changed, but also, you know, the attitude of the cities and governments has been, you know, changed in Europe and specifically in Finland. Our cities has specific amount of money for the sports, and unfortunately the Ice Hockey Federation, which is just fucked up union and institution, you guys taking 1 billion euros every year from the government to support ice hockey. I fully understand that it's national sport, but you leave for rest of the athletes 1 billion euros, which means basketball, soccer, cross skiing, all these, you know, other sports have to split 1 billion euro, where Ice Hockey Federation get one for themselves. And that's kind of thing why Finland has been always so succeed team in you know, worldwide ice hockey games.
Yeah.
And skateboarder, like you said, that's underground society, and
Okay.
we have been feel that every time wherever you go to skateboard, everybody is against you.
Yep. So I'm sorry to the secret police. I'm sorry to Jokerit. I'm trying to get sponsored here. I'm trying to work in the country. I have to leave the interview now. It is over. I'm kidding. I'm completely kidding. But but there is this aspect of that, like it's, you know, look, you're doing something that it's not the national loved thing.
Yeah.
But why shouldn't it exist? But we also, can we go onto the side for a point, just for a little while, can I get you onto the side of thinking about, well, isn't it good to promote a national sport so that Finland, look, when I grew up as a Finn in the US, I'm half Finnish, nobody knew anything about Finland. They definitely still don't know any Finnish skaters. That's one thing. Now, if we would put the money in a different spot, we'll talk about that later. But my point is, they knew maybe 3 people from Finland, and that's all. We don't know where Finland is on a map, 95% of us. So having certain things like really good success in hockey, isn't it also good for Finland that it puts us on the map?
Obviously, but I think ice hockey doesn't change so much, you know, people awareness about Finland, or, you know, people still thinking that we have Eskimos and ice bear here, which is, you know, keep us laughing every time, you know, people from the States coming asking where I can see ice bears or Eskimos.
Yeah.
You guys need to go to Arctical Circle. Santa Claus is in Rovaniemi, so that guy you can find from there, but Eskimos, you really need to go much more north. So anyway, I think, you know, it's good that the ice hockey is where it is, but it still kind of has been always, you know, rich kids sports.
Okay, now that's where I was gonna try to pull you on to the argument of why shouldn't we focus more on bigger, more world respected sports, but at the same time, that was the other argument I wanted to get into for why I think skateboarding is one of the coolest fucking sports on the planet. And basketball I like as well, because all it takes is for you to have a pair of shoes. You don't even have to have good shoes.
Yeah.
And you can play the sport with, now having a skateboard, getting a used skateboard is expensive if you're a kid, but you can get them used. You can get your friend to give you, you know, a used deck and everything else, and you'll be all right.
Want to jump with us here?
Yeah, it's a Coco break. Coco wants to get some attention.